Alrighty, so number 8, here we go. Students recorded the amount of liquid and fluid ounces each of them drank in one day. The box plot shows a summary of these results. Okay, so what I wanted to make sure that we remember is that this middle line is our median. This line right here is our quartile 3. This line is our quartile 1. This dot right here is the smallest set of the data, and this is the largest set of the data. Okay, so if we're looking at going from, I'm going to start at J this time because our answer is F, but I'm going to start at J. So the mean number of fluid ounces that the students drank is 78. Okay, the mean is not 78, the median is 78, so that's why J is not our answer. The data represents 78 student responses, and that is incorrect as well, right? Because there's more than 78 student responses, right? G, the greatest number of students drank from 30 to 78 fluid ounces, and that is incorrect because this should actually be half of the students, right, drank from 30 to 78 fluid ounces. Because if you look here, right, I set this up, or this is broken up into fourths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1/4. This is 1/4. This little box is 1/4, and this is 1/4. Right? So it wouldn't be the greatest number from 30 to 78. It would be half because that's 2 sections. So 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, which is equal to a half. Okay? Let's look at number 9. So which two expressions are equivalent? So we cannot add variables with numbers unless the number has the same variable, right? We have to learn to combine like terms, right? So in number 4, since parentheses goes first, right? This is 3y plus 4. If I look here at this expression, 4 plus 3 is 7 times y, right? This is not the same thing as this. So this cannot be equivalent. Let's look at 18. 18 has us saying 18 divided by y plus 10, and 10 plus y divided by 18, right? These have 2 different divisors, 2 different dividends, right? 18 divided by y is different than y divided by 18. So this cannot be it either. Now let's look at C. So in C, this is looking like a better option for us because y times 2 is 2y. And then this expression, 2 times y, is still 2y. So both of these are equivalent. Okay, moving on. Number 10. Mr. Smith has a maximum of $50 to spend at a museum. A ticket to the museum costs $7. He can spend P dollars to buy other things at the museum. Which inequality can be used to find the possible values for P? So I'm going to make sure that I circle my numbers and I underline my question and I box my keyword, which is maximum. Okay, so I know that maximum means that my inequality symbol is going to be turned this way. Okay, so since I know that, I can already cross out these two. So now I need to go ahead and figure it out, because if he can spend a maximum of $50, that means our P, which is what the possible value could be, the dollars, that means that P would have to be less than or equal to 50 because he can't spend more than $50. So P plus 7, right? So if I were to get my P by itself, P is less than or equal to 43. So he can spend 43 more dollars, but that is it. No more than 43. No more than 43. Let's go ahead and look at number 11. Miss Torres is mailing a package that weighs 12.5 pounds. the post office charges by the ounce to mail a package. How much does the package weigh in ounces? Okay, so they give you all of your conversions that you will ever need for the STAAR. So please use them, because if you did use them, you would know that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. Okay, so now since we know that, we can go ahead and set up our proportion. So 1 pound, right, is 16 ounces. So if I'm trying to find what 12.5 pounds would be, I would have to set up my proportion the correct way. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I messed up here, my bad guys. Right, so I know that 12.5 pounds is what I'm trying to find, or the ounces for that is what I'm trying to find. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross multiply. So 1 times what I don't know, right, is 1x, and then 16 times 12.5 gives me 200, and then get the variable by itself, which just means I do the inverse operation. My pen's not working. What's going on? There we go. And so x, oh, goodness gracious, x is equal to 200. So I have to set up my proportion, right? And when I set up my proportion, I'm able to solve for x. And let me do this as well so we're not confused at what x is, because this bad boy, oh, there we go. Just 1 second. Turn this color. So this is x, right? So 1 pound over 16 ounces, because this is my ratio. And then I know that 12.5 pounds, right, is what I have, and I'm trying to find the ounces for that. So that is why I cross multiply here and cross multiply here. And that is why I get that 200. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay, moving on, guys. All right, so this question right here, I needed to figure out what is the team's score. So you should have just added all of these together. And where we mess up on is that whenever we have positive and negative numbers, we tend to mess up quite a lot, right? So I have -2 plus 3. Remember, whenever I am adding a negative number and a positive number together, I'm going to be subtracting and taking the sign of the larger number. So -2 plus 3, I subtract, right? And I get 1. And 1 is going to be positive because 3 is bigger. Okay? Plus -4 plus -1. Now I'm going to keep going. 1 plus -4. I'm still adding different signs, so I'm going to be subtracting and taking the sign of the bigger number. So 1 plus -4 is a -3 plus a -1. So now when I add the same sign, I'm going to add and end with the common sign. So since they both are negatives, my answer is going to be negative, which is H. Okay, moving on. 13, a farmer watered 3/8 of a field. What percentage is equivalent to the fraction of the field the farmer watered? Right, so he watered 3/8 of the field. Okay, so what I need to do for this is I need to turn this into a decimal and then go from decimal to percent, right? Because he watered 3/8, so top and bottom out. Right, 8 goes into 3 0 times. Remember, you should have did all of this. Add the decimal, shoot it up. Add the 0, shoot it down. Right? 8 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. And remember, I need to make sure that I get everything that I need. Right? So I'm going to keep keep going as I'm doing this. Sorry, guys. Okay, 56. I'm going to keep going until I end at 0, and then 8 goes into 45 times. Perfect. And so now I have my decimal, but I need to go to percent. And when I go from decimal to percent, I move it over 2 places to the right. And so the answer is 37.50%. I'm going to wait till we get all of this copied down.